So you're telling me...
Yes, sir.
The man who couldn't sit through Princess Spike. The man who couldn't even sit through a Discord episode.
Yes, sir.
Sat through the same bullshit cliche, boring episode, and loved it.
Oh, yes. This sounds like the beginning of a fucking collab if I've ever heard one. This sounds like Tommy Anthony C right here. Yes, sir. Loved it. Mwah. That episode
does not compute.
Fucking, are you goddamn kidding me, man? I'm fucking American. It's a pointless conflict for fucking no reason. Holy shit, it's the best thing in the fucking world. It destroys all those idiots out there. You're like, no, Equestria is this happy, peaceful fun land. I'm like, no, they're assholes. Yes, sweet God, yes. That's all I've ever wanted. It warms my heart to see that fucking goddamn they're just as terrible as human beings. Oh God, yes.
It's not fun to watch. It's just boring.
It's a culture thing. You have to be American. It's fucking beautiful. Okay. Oh my God. I took note. I forgot where it was. Where the fuck was it where I made a remark? I was like, oh, it's like the Rift and fucking.
Oh, I fucking said that too.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, oh yeah, dude. They get out of bed and he's like, all I ever think about is starting a fight. I'm like, yeah! When he let out the scream.
In the middle of a giant feud with our terrible neighbors!
About the lousy neighbors that knocked down the house. I was like, that's perfect. Now give that to all Earth ponies. That's beautiful. I would start to choose like a fucking Earth pony over something else if they had that power. That's fucking badass.
That was today.
The fact that there's like different, within the tribes of Earth ponies that we're addressing that certain ones have certain talents. There's more diversity to the freaking Earth pony tribe.
Oh really? So AJ was good at farming and building houses. Here we have two tribes. One of them's good at building houses and the other one's good at farming.
Oh yeah, Applejack's OP.
Question: where the fuck is Applejack? Wouldn't have this worked 10 times better if Fluttershy went with Rarity and Applejack was with it? You could have had this amazing scene where Twilight can't understand the accents, and then Fluttershy's like, yeah, totally understand. Like,
No. This I'll address that like the last time when they did like a map episode. Well, surely they could have just had brought Twilight along, and she could have fixed everything, and the play would have turned out all right. Except you would have missed all the whole point of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it would have been better with Fluttershy because I don't know, she'd get behind that a bit more.
Well, Fluttershy did fix the problem.
Fluttershy annoyed me. Apart from that one token moment at the end where she said, oh, remember guys, I compete with animals. She was fucking useless this entire episode.
What the hell? I remember the very first thing I wrote down at the beginning of the goddamn episode. I'm like, oh my God, Fluttershy's doing cute things.
Does every animal have their copy of Wuthering Hooves? Hooray!
You mean the one thing that made Fluttershy fucking amazing? They're going back to that? Oh my fucking God, it was like a goddamn mystery of these fucking writers. You have to make Fluttershy look cute. That's what made her fucking awesome. That's all you had to do. And through the whole goddamn episode, she's looking cute, doing cute little things and shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah, way to make a contribution.
Oh, fuck you. Maybe I'm easily bought off by fan pandering and simple ideas, and I am, I'll admit it, it was just cute and fun and adorable, and then there's like Twilight ripping out her hair and fucking losing her mind because nothing's working right, so you got like the Lesson Zero thing going on. We've got plenty of fucking continuity references.
I'm Fluttershy.
We have a new princess? When did that happen?
To like, oh yeah, the minute like the guy went like, oh, you're an Halicorn, I thought there's only 3 of those, and I was like, yes, service me, pander to me, yes, you fulfill me, writers, you validate me.
What the fuck, man?
This is all
maybe it's a high English sophisticate. I just despise the accent, you know.
I feel like we should be recording right now. Oh, God damn. Yes, no, yeah, I fucking totally, we need to do that. Fucking, we'll just bounce off of each other fucking like Monday or something like that for like an hour.
Well, fuck, I've got that Skype recorder on now, I mean.
Sure.
Oh, no, I just forget to turn it off, honestly.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, as soon as you get this audio done, you throw that back to me, I will slap some fucking scenes onto that bitch. This is fucking, it'll be like that, remember when I took like Digi's thoughts on like season 5?
Yeah, okay.
And I made it look like an analysis. Yeah, we do that here.
Oh, fuck, I better get my thoughts in order then, fuck. I didn't expect you to suddenly
turn no. I could go completely off the top of my head. Okay, the McCoys, it's the ones who fucking build shit, right?
Oh, I don't even care. You got red team and blue team. They're both equally annoying.
Oh, of course, yeah. So anyway, I love that freaking stout little obnoxious dwarf dude. Like, that was freaking goddamn adorable. So charmingly rustic.
I did appreciate the facial hair this episode. That was a lot of facial hair.
Okay, well, freaking when Twilight first shows up,
You're here!
I'm like, holy shit, my heart stopped. Just like when she's like all grinning and like poofs in on freaking Fluttershy. I'm like, oh, holy crap, we're not wasting any time. We're just gonna get the let out in this episode. It was funny. Like about a minute 27 in, you know, there's Twilight like shoving her ass in Fluttershy's face. Look, it's just jiggling, guy. Ew, that joyless and humorless, and she couldn't find any goddamn humor in this episode. That devoid of fun.
I found some things funny. Like it was the bit where she said, okay, I bet our asses are gonna start glowing any second now. I had one itty bitty teeny weeny nitpick at like a minute 42. I'm like, oh, yep. You had to remind me that Twilight likes books. I might have forgot. Yeah,
that was my only bitch.
Just a wink, guys. Fluttershy is the shy one. Don't know if you missed it. It's a subtle character right there.
I'm surprised the Spike fanboy didn't fucking flip his shit about 256, 257. Right when she straps those bags on Fluttershy and Fluttershy's back almost snaps in two. I wrote down, yeah, Spike's not so worthless now anymore. See that, bronies? Yeah, where's Spike when you need him, assholes?
That's a good point. Spike isn't actually obliged by the map laws. He could just go too.
Yeah, he easily could have gone, and I don't think it would have really hurt. I mean, it would have slowed him down when they were flying around a little bit.
I guess.
He wouldn't be able to do the heavy bag thing, I guess, but I guess I think that they missed an itty-bitty point of going, God, I sure miss Spike. Yeah, we sure take Spike for granted.
Oh, but he's worthless. Who the fuck needs Spike, am I right, Hasbro?
We're like 3:20 when they got in the balloon, and I'm glad they didn't do this, but I was expecting it. I was waiting to hear the freaking goddamn opening theme again when they're floating through the air, and I'm like, no, please don't.
I have a feeling Pasternakas is just gonna gate crash this.
Well, let's see.
He's chilling around in the chat, and he look like you know that thunder before the storm where you know they're gonna join.
Okay.
Any minute now.
354. Right. I was literally just about to get bored when they started firing in the goddamn air, and I'm sitting there thinking, wow, they just committed an act of terrorism. You're firing on the Princess of Friendship. This is just completely out of left field, and I loved it.
That one scene where like she's waiting any second now, and the tomato hits her right in the face. I was like, okay, you got me. That's nice.
What was it at? Like 5:04, 5:11.
You're wasting your time. We don't have a friendship problem. We have a McColt problem.
When he screams out there, I wanted to make a point to put up like the dun 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 when he knocks over the freaking. Well, I'm trying to. Yeah, I didn't write down exactly what they did. I think it's when he screamed out. Yeah, the hat.
I'm not going to do so. I didn't write down any thoughts. I've only seen it once, and it will be a sad day when I watch it again. Are you seriously going to rewatch this episode?
Yes. I've downloaded it, loved it, adored it.
Shit, hang on, I'm getting a call.
Look. If you want to be hypercritical, fine. I'll meet you halfway. It is the best dumb episode in existence. If you want to be like that.
It's not even a dumb. Well, it is a dumb episode, but
I remember when I got to the point where they're explaining about it's their fault, it's this fault, and my fault was look, it's Apple fanboys bitching about IBM users.
No, it's fucking Avatar. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Aware of it,
no,
but I haven't
the worst episode that's kind of unanimously known throughout the entire fandom of Avatar is The Great Divide, and it's this exact same fucking story, and it's shit there too.
No. There's another reason though. Avatar is an action series, sir, where the characters are, they're human and they war and there's conflict and stuff like that.
I could
You're
think
not expecting to see that in here.
Okay, no. I can. There are so many episodes in Avatar that focus a lot more on character and stuff like that. There are very few. There are action scenes, I suppose, but
in Avatar, the characters' skills are, battle oriented.
I suppose, yes.
Oh yeah, I suppose this Asian martial arts thing is battle oriented.
It's almost as if I'm a ninja.
I'm waiting for you to be like, all typecasted. Yes, my ninjutsu is meant for violence. Yo, you mean the thing based around assassination and murdering people? Yes, based around violence. How silly of me.
I just got bored of this episode.
Oh,
I knew exactly how it was going to play out. The moment I fucking arrived, I was like, oh,
I thought I get to make my favorite punching bag right too when we get to like 1304. Ah, there's something you'll never see Celestia's fat ass do, giving away a cake.
Oh, but the cake is a Trojan. Who saw that coming?
I know, I saw that too.
There's tropes, and there's cliches, and then there's a horrible mixture, a concoction of Satan. But it's
like when they're showing like the desolation and them fighting back and forth. I was like, there it is.
Yeah, and then they cut away to
you guys never show a
Fluttershy.
Fallout Equestria. Drink it in, boys. Drink it in.
In fact, yeah, I did make a comment on the moments where they start actually fighting. War never changes.
Oh, when she froze everybody, I was like, who else would have preferred Pony Mop Twilight right here?
What do you mean froze her on? The one where she froze as in, okay. I thought
when she froze everybody and she let out that wave, they would have all been like, nuked if that had been Pony Mob.
I did like the callbacks to Castle Sweet Castle.
One more real last point of reference.
Oh, no, Castlevania.
1952 to 1958, right when they
I would just like to point out that I was the first to admit I was wrong.
No, I'm apologizing better to you. I wrote down, Jesus, it's like talking to Moliminous. I know people this insufferable, sir. That's why I adored this episode. I was like, it's like me and all my bastard friends and enemies.
Okay. I'll tell you why that doesn't really fucking...
Oh, okay, no. I'll tell you why you should care. You're the guy who's like, I would like to hang out in the pony fuck. Well, there you go. You saw today's episode. That's as close as you need to get.
Yeah. But no,
and if you hung out with legions and legions of idiots, you can appreciate today's episode.
I suppose.
If you haven't hung out with legions of idiots, then perhaps today's episode is less fulfilling. How are you, Pasta?
Good. You?
Good.
We're just discussing the
Me
new
and British
episode.
Ninja were having a great back and forth, and I was like, are you recording this? He's like, yes. I was like, oh, good. I adored it. I loved the fact that we had glorious, glorious war for no good reason, that ponies are terrible fucking people deep down inside. It warmed my heart. I get out of bed thinking about fighting my enemy, and I'm like, yes! Yes!
I kind of like that, too. I love it when they tear down the idolized vision of the show.
Yes. If you want me to say it's silly, well, it's Hatfields and McCoys, man. Considering what it could have been. I didn't sit there and going, stupid hillbillies the whole way through. I'm obviously the English gentleman.
I did.
Probably.
I thought it was...
Oh yeah, I'm sure you sat there with your monocle and your top hat. Your tea and pinky ring.
Why the fuck should I care? Why the fuck should I care about idiots being idiots? I have no reason to give a fuck if they kill each other, if they make up, if they're friends, or fuck. If this was like Griffins versus Dragons, that'd be fucking awesome. But no, it's just fucking people with accents and fucking people with bad facial hair. Grr, boring.
Okay, if one of the families would have been like sacre bleu, and the other one would have been like all sophisticated like English and shit, you'd have ate that shit up.
I still wouldn't have cared.
Probably.
Hey.
I enjoyed it because I like the fact that it was Fluttershy Twilight, instance where they had to fix it.
Okay.
I thought that was...
I like seeing...
Pasta, apart from that one bit at the end where Fluttershy says, hey guys, you're affecting the animals, what did Fluttershy do this episode? Which helped to solve them?
Well...
Exactly.
That kind of was a major thing that helped fix the problem.
But
I'd say throughout the episode, she was kind of talking to Twilight, and Twilight was kind of taking charge of the whole situation with pretty shitty methods.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you come to the end of it, I feel like Twilight's purpose there was getting them all to stop. Like, if you think about it in terms of what grand purpose did Twilight serve being there, it was literally magically stopping them from attacking each other.
It was so that she could learn the lesson that you couldn't just boilerplate, that you can't just use these time-tested, trusted ways. It was to teach
that's actually another thing that annoyed me, is that Twilight, all the lessons that she's learned in the past, fuck it, let's just use magic and stop everyone.
I would have done it way earlier, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, just use
Let's
the juice.
Let's use the magic of friendship. No, you use the magic of freezing time.
No, but, okay, I'll be right back. But in my opinion, everything that Twilight was doing in the very beginning to before she used magic was completely stupid. Because, of course, neither party wanted to end the conflict. To need the conflict for every single thing that she was going through. All the lessons and everything that she was talking about required both of them to want to come together, and neither did.
Okay, Pastor, are you familiar with that one episode of Avatar, The Great Divide?
Yeah, I know, and where he lied to basically get them. I was thinking about that episode too while I watched it.
Yeah, I feel like that episode handled this better, but still badly, because I don't like this episode. This episode annoys me.
I'll look at it like this. If my theory is true about Celestia, this would have been the ultimate time, because I've often sat there and said that she's not a bad hole unicorn, that she's based around, diplomacy and getting people to come together. If this would have been a cute way of going like, look, Celestia appears before the two warring tribes and they fall to the, oh my god, it's the sun god, we can't possibly, and she says all the right things and everyone comes together. But what would you have learned in that situation? You needed someone who, you needed someone there who is capable of figuring out the lesson, but stumbling along the way. I'd almost, and I'm potentially going to be really talking out my ass here. You remember Griffinstone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's almost... Well, I don't know. I am completely talking out my ass to say that Pinky shows up and she knows what she's intrinsically doing. That's kind of it makes everything else feel kind of worthless. Like Pinky, eventually, she stumbles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna do this to fix the friendship problem. I'm gonna do this to fix the friendship problem. Oh, okay, I'll point at you, British Ninja. Oh, if it wasn't for her cooking, the whole thing would have been Pinky being worthless. If you want to be like that.
No, if Dash was the worthless one in that episode, Jesus.
Well, okay, well, there you go. Fluttershy was more useful in this episode than Rainbow Dash was in Griffinstone.
Well, the thing is with Fluttershy is that's the only thing she contributed to this thing.
But what did Rainbow Dash contribution in Griffinstone?
This might not be the best way to look at it, but I kind of just see the map being somewhat arbitrary with who it picks. It picks so-and-so and so-and-so. And, I think that there are plenty of instances in all these cases where you could argue these ponies would be a better fit for the situation. And I don't really think that takes away from the I guess, meaningfulness of it, because to me the map is just a thing that tells them where to go. The reason it has so much power of them, you could say that maybe it's because their key marks are glowing and that would prevent them from doing shit, but I feel like it's sort of because of how they treat the map. They treat the map like it's end all be all, it knows what to do, so that's kind of why these situations kind of come across. Twilight throughout this entire episode, I felt, I agree with you, FNGR, I think that she did learn a valuable lesson. And I think that the thing that Twilight doesn't realize is that, and I don't even know if she realized it by the very end, is that when you look at the main six, I think that the main six, in every one of the episodes we've seen, these are people with the intention of they don't want to fight.
Yeah.
So,
maybe
of course, maybe except Rainbow, but they don't want to fight. So, of course, everything that she's saying gets through to people. I feel like one thing I liked about this story, though, I didn't really like the ending that much. I can get into that in a second. I felt like this was more appropriate because it showed that conflicts like these are complicated. Because one, both parties don't want to come together, and so think about it in terms of war. When does a war end?
You do kind of need, when two people really don't like each other to get along, you do need an outside source to kind of guilt them into getting along.
You do, but at the same time, I feel like it helped that both the McColts and the Hoofields cared about the wildlife, but I think in a lot of situations, people who are in the fight don't give a fuck what outsiders have to say about it. Look at the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Outsiders can say all bunch, and the conflict won't be intrinsically solved. I think that it's more realistic if the outsiders have very little effect. Yeah. And I think that the thing, I guess, was good about the way they ended it was that it wasn't really Twilight or Fluttershy's input that stopped them. It was the animals' input. Yeah.
If all you're going to say is it amounted to them... Well, so, okay, here, I'm going to defeat you right now, British Ninja. So what you're saying is that the diplomat had to basically be diplomatic and convey the problem to the people having the conflict. Don't see the problem. It's Twilight learning diplomacy, which is something a princess should do. We actually saw the very essence of Twilight being a fucking princess in today's episode, with petty commoners.
Diplomacy.
Yes, but let me get the wait. Did an English person just whine to me about forced diplomacy?
It feels incredibly forced. It feels like these people can't live without a princess telling them what they need to do.
Yes, that's it. You live in it's Equestria is that monarchy kind of ideal dream world. Wait, let me get this straight. You're taking a little girl's fantasy of princesses and making the princess paramount to, the world getting along. Well, doy, that's the point.
Fucking, these people can't even, get along without this. They're just idiots.
Spike, man. You don't really, yeah.
But
that episode sucked because of it.
But this one did it right.
That, a lot of instances like this are probably bound to happen. There are going to be a lot of instances where two people simply can't live together. I mean, have you seen your average typical Rift goer and your average typical PFC member? They hate each other.
Yes.
They're not going to live together or work together.
Yeah, that's why the PFC stays in the PFC and the Rift stays in the Rift.
But you can't teach that episode on a show called
Then it's not supposed to be an episode. It's a shitty conflict. It's a shitty concept that has failed in every other cartoon I can think of.
Okay. The name of the goddamn show is Friendship of Motherfucking Magic.
Let me get this straight. You're saying that instead of coming together, they should make a wall and further divide that separation.
It would be more realistic.
Okay, you want more realistic than amending fences is bullshit, sir. The person should have been allowed to be left the fuck alone if you want to play that card. We could go up and down the episodes and defeat friendship from a bitter, cynical, contrarian standpoint if you want to play
between being left alone and actual conflict, war. Fucking attacking people, destroying homes, destroying crops, stuff like that.
You mean stalking someone who wanted to be utterly left alone, using your royal authority and alicorn magic to actually harass and stalk someone through a library, inside her personal space, violating inside of her very own books, her escape from reality, and stalking her there. But it's like freaking goddamn Twilight Sparkle went full-blown motherfucking 8chan.
You're really complaining about that episode, huh?
See,
No, I'm saying if I'm coming at from an idiotic standpoint like you are, which I love amending fences, and that's why you have to give, again, the show is built around friendship. That's the mission statement. When you whine and complain, I don't really agree with Discord learning friendship, well, consider the show.
Hey, I never said that.
But I mean, you make a point about it being unrealistic. I agree with FNGR
Why not build a
wall?
Why not move away?
Because here's the problem with building a wall. That really is sort of part of the problem. I think, I know I and many other people have. The show is supposed to be an escapism from that type of bullshittery that we experience in the real world, where instead of resolving people's shit, they just make a fucking wall. We made a wall that fixed the problem.
Oh yeah, okay. So the people who bombed Paris, we should just go over, shake their hands, and we'll be all hunky dory,
Okay, British.
No. I'm not saying that you can I do think that they simplified it. I think that any cartoon episode that is going to address something like this is obviously going to address something that is a little bit less played up. I mean, they're addressing a conflict like that in 22 minutes. All of those episodes are going to be somewhat simplistic. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm okay with simple.
Let me make a quick point here. I loved the fact that the conflict was very much intentional. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to stumble here, idiot ball, and that's how the argument is going to keep going. No, both sides knew what the hell they were doing. I'd say at least the Hatfoils were definitely pushing back a bit more. I like the fact that it was very purposeful, and they just felt entitled to keep going. Because that's very realistic, Ninja. There are assholes like that.
I know, there are idiots like that.
It would have bothered me if it would have been like, no, they're just misunderstood. We have to make everyone who's an asshole into Diamond Tiara. Oh no, they're really bullied. No, they're just assholes. I want that in the show because there are people out there who are really just fucking assholes.
I don't know if they are though. They're just conflict because they're trying to get, revenge. They're not really assholes.
They savored it. They liked it.
Let's take what you just said about the wall and then the thing about the Paris bit, British Ninja. So are you saying that France
I can't understand
that is all just Muslims and you build a wall around the country and just have all the Muslims there? Muslims there. I mean, that is basically your solution.
Well, no, because
in the real
I
world.
use that example to say why why everyone sometimes can't be friends and sometimes conflict can't be resolved by just sitting both sides down and stuff like that. But in this example, they could have easily just fucking done other stuff that would have easily solved the conflict.
I would have made that I would have easily have made that argument for Party Pooped instead of this one, and I'll tell you why. These are at least 2 pony tribes, which is very much falls under Twilight's purview. It's her duty and job to get 2 pony tribes, which are under her rule, to get them together. That made no sense that she had to go to a foreign, outside race, species, whatever the hell you want to call it, and jam them together. So any complaint that you have about this episode should be 5 times over for Party Pooped.
You're basically
I
saying
didn't like
that
Party Pooped either.
she should care about domestic matters, not international.
First and foremost, especially when you have this. This was going on way beforehand.
Well, I imagine that Celestia has to be doing something in all her time. Like,
I don't.
that's the more
that's your
international
headcanon.
stuff.
That's your headcanon, sir. We know that she's just sitting there on that royal throne, fanning herself, eating a grape.
Like,
this episode doesn't do anything wrong, really, but it's just so fucking boring to me. I've seen it 1,000 times. It did nothing new. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Maybe it's because I've seen it 1,000 times. I don't know. Maybe a little kid who's seen this for the first time is like, yeah, I like this. We're going to all be friends. But, it's just boring.
Well, you didn't like the characters involved, I'm guessing, so that's basic.
I didn't even care for the characters. They could fight if all I care. It's not going to change anything.
See, I liked it because I don't think that we've ever really had an instance of Fluttershy and Twilight in an episode together. I mean, maybe you could say Scaremaster, but Twilight wasn't really in that one that much. This one really felt like it was...
Well, I could make the same thing for Fluttershy and Applejack. The only people that Fluttershy seems extremely comfortable with is Rarity and Dash.
And I love Bats for the same reason I love, I wanted to see Fluttershy Applejack interaction, and that's why I like that episode too.
Yeah, I thought they weren't friends.
As much as I didn't like Bats myself, if I turned my brain off, I could just sit down, watch Bats, rewatch Bats. I said I'd be willing to meet you halfway, British Ninja, even though I don't necessarily agree with this. If you wanted to insist it's a dumb episode, then it's the best damn dumb episode I've ever seen out of MLP.
The one where Pinky knows.
He'll never get me to admit that's dumb.
I think
that's totally me running around. Pinky was me running around in that episode going, ooh, I can't wait to tell everybody.
Okay,
I identify with that way too much.
Let's replace the word dumb with the word incredibly low conflict.
Oh, no. Well, you want to play low conflict. Freaking Pinky Pride is low conflict. Pinky Apple Pie is most Pinky episodes.
Pride is her entire self-identity. How is that low conflict?
The stakes could not be lower.
Oh, for the actual party itself, but the actual topic that it covers is extremely high conflict. This is her entire
That's
psyche.
all Pinky episodes. They're all like deep internal moments, but like the conflict is really not there. It's all in her head.
Well, I still think...
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying about Pinky Nose. I'm trying to think of, what would have really happened if she would have told ahead of time. Her friends would have got upset. They would have thought she was an asshole for maybe a week tops. Maybe. Well, she would have took that hard.
Yeah.
The way Pinky acts, she would have took that hard. It would have escalated. It would have gotten uglier. Because it's friendship. You'd have to look at the dark side of friendship, which is, I don't know, the venue is wrong to do that here, is to look at the real downside. You can't ask for that in like 22 minutes. And you're not going to have connected episodes where people sit there and struggle and it becomes like, Lifetime or Oxygen or some shit like that. Again, very much so. I understand you don't like it, but I adored it. This restored my faith in the series after last week's abortion.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Isn't that the ultimate twist of irony? Last week's, I like.
Yeah, you've got the British brony response with that there, where you're like, well, I liked it, and it's my opinion.
I thought that last week's
you like this and it's your opinion.
But I gave
last
reasons.
Week's
and I have really one.
I found last week just kind of annoying because, I liked the Twilight angle of it, but Discord just was annoying that episode. I'm like, ugh.
Well, I'm not. If I were the writer, or if I were in charge of DHX or Hasbro, and it came time to bring John Delancey back, I would have sat down with him very kindly, very politely, and say, John, I don't feel that in good conscience I can keep asking you to come back because I don't feel that I'm using you to an effective use.
Oh, well, that was Neil Dadasso. He has no soul.
Who's that?
Neil Dadasso is the guy. Oh, Neil Dusdow. I can't pronounce. It's the guy who wrote Princess Spike.
I would have felt. I'm like, really? We're gonna get two episodes per season out of you, and if this is the new standard of wasting you for half the time, I think I would have rather have chanced it with a Spike episode than if it would have been unbearable. I would have been like, oh, it's a Spike episode.
I hate that. That's the worst stigma of this fandom. Oh, it's crap. Oh, it's just a Spike episode. It's not supposed to be good. Fuck that stigma. It doesn't mean...
Well,
Sorry.
see, British Ninja, I'm going to tell you something here that probably you won't like.
Oh boy.
Because it has to do with what you said just moments ago about the recent episode. My problem with Spike episodes isn't that I think he's a shitty character. No. It's that I'm bored with his I'm bored with the way Spike's conflicts are. Like, I was incredibly bored with his Princess Spike conflict. Because I'm like,
I hated it too.
this is
not
so,
groundbreaking, shocking news the like before. I hated that episode too, man.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, the reason I hate Spike episodes, just said you hate that people have a stigma against Spike episodes.
Okay.
I hate them because they're boring.
Alright, let me tell you why this stigma is so cancerous. If there was a new episode, and it was fantastic, but people still walk in with... well, actually, no, so let me try and rephrase this. When people walk in with it's a Spike episode, it's going to be mediocre at best, and that's an excuse for it being bad, then that's bullshit. People should not say, it's just a Spike episode, as if that's a defense. Because it's not a defense.
but like, that's just their opinion, that's all it is.
That'd be like, if I were looking at reviews, and I looked up after seeing a terrible review, and I saw the name. Alright, I might have to edit this out. If the name on the review said Anime Wolf Gamer and it was bad, I'd be like, okay.
It's just an Anime Wolf Gamer review.
Yes, exactly.
No, it's still shit. You can't, like...
Oh, no, yes, and I totally freaking... I totally compared your wife to an Anime Wolf Gamer.
Okay. Let's say if we're really going running with this whole thing, imagine if the show puts out episodes that are equal to Silver Quill's quality, and then next week it's an Anime Wolf Gamer episode, and it's shit, made by the same people, and like, it's just an Anime Wolf Gamer episode. No, it still means it's shit.
We're not saying... I don't... It's the fact that this you can only get so much, generally, out of certain topics. Inspiration
manifestation.
Castlemania. Castlemania, which I actually destroyed this myself. You can only get so much out of a Scooby-Doo theme, where you don't put a world championship boxer as the main character. You could, without Norman McDonald, you could only get so much out of Scooby-Doo, okay?
I like that.
Unless you go completely off the rail and go really to break the mold. For me, Hatfields and McCoys work because it's in such a strange, foreign place where you wouldn't see that bickering reoccursion. To me, and I know you can correct this easily, and I'm probably wrong, but when I think of Last Airbender, I think of the Fire Nation trying to take over the world. And my first thought is conflict. Oh, look, a Hatfield-McCoy conflict in a show about conflict.
Okay, the conflict of the episode...
Seems kind of underwhelming. No, I understand that, but in MLP, well, if you took like Romeo and Juliet and spoiled it into, I don't know, some melodrama that's like filled with like romance and shit and other things of that, like, yeah, you'd groan, but like, I guess if you threw that in MLP and if you liked that trope where you went, okay, we're going to see some kind of weird tragedy shoehorned into like a kid show, and let's see if it's tackled even remotely true, I'm more likely than not to give it a thumbs up if I can find any way to do so.
I don't think it did anything though. It just stuck to the exact bare bones. Both sides are idiots, they don't get along, it needs a third party, and then eventually they'll kiss and make up, and there's just nothing new.
Isn't that every map episode though? Generally, like everyone,
because
everyone's an asshole until fucking we come fix them.
Well, that is the concept of the map, yes, but I think real friendship solved fucking Griffinstone. I think real friendship helped them work together to bring the community back.
Made them real friendship.
What I feel with this.
Oh no!
No! The issue was it used to be better when we had our money. Those were good times, you know.
Yeah.
See,
but real Griffinstone,
but
real
my
friendship
problem with
saved
Griffinstone was that it completely retconned Gilda. Like, whatever happened to the character who was just a complete asshole to Rainbow Dash? The way they presented it.
Simple. She was lonely.
No.
What?
I counter-argued this one when I was on CR, and they were like, it couldn't have been Gilda's, her upbringing. She was away at the school.
Upbringing. She lost her only friend.
And I'm like, so who's her fault? And I was like, it's obvious who turned Gilda into an asshole. She hung out with Rainbow Dash for years. How is this hard to believe that hanging out with Rainbow Dash as your one and only friend would make you a horrible, miserable shit? Really, Rainbow Dash?
No. By that conclusion, then all of the main six.
Question though on that, because I did watch that Ponycast episode. I know which one you're talking about. With that theory, how does it work though? Because what is it just a time thing? Is it just that the Rainbow Dash effect wore off after Gilda and her broke up because they weren't friends anymore? Like, because what we know is that in Griffin the Brush Off, Gilda and Rainbow Dash hadn't seen each other for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So Gilda was coming to see her. I mean, we don't know exactly how much time passed since they were at the flight camp and when they how long they were separated for. But she was still a dick then. But see, after this time, let me finish, British Ninja.
Sorry.
But after this span of time, when we see her in Rippenstone, it's like now she's a completely different person.
She was still a jerk in freaking Griffinstone, where she's sitting there mocking behind the the turkey or the buzzard. I remember looking at that going, oh cool, she's a jerk, but she's now kind of a lovable dick, you know?
But whatever happened to the cool reason that Rainbow Dash didn't like her, and Rainbow Dash is the one that cut it off.
Yeah.
She said, you know what, you're a dick, I ain't helping you. You're not my friend anymore because you're an ass to my friend.
But Rainbow still
why
resented
she was an
her.
ass to a friend? Because she wanted just her and Dash. Like, she didn't want anyone else interfering because she missed Dash for so long. That's why she was a dick to everyone else, and that's why Dash eventually shut her off. When she was getting annoyed at the party, she didn't just leave by herself and say, fuck you all. She wanted Dash to come with her, you know? Stuff like that. After the year where she's had no one except all of her Griffin relatives being just asses, yeah, she got fucking lonely. It's why she gave friendship a fucking chance. And even then, she was still skeptical before the beginning of that.
Oh, okay, here, I'll give you an example of someone you know very much that's Gilda.
That's a head.
Vita, who, like, I guarantee you most of those people that he's like, oh, I want nothing to do with these faggots, if they came back and opened up their arms, he'd come running. I think 9 times out of 10. I think at least half. Peter made this point, is that everyone likes to think that they can go in alone, but people really don't want to be isolated. They want camaraderie, even people who swear up and down that they don't. And even if that weren't true, again, consider the name of the show. What, really? You mean the show against friendship is going to have the propaganda that everyone wants friendship? Of course it is. You either accept that or you don't, and if you don't accept it, I don't know what you're doing here, man. You have to accept the core concept of friendship as magic is going to be friendship.
But I feel like they didn't accept that core concept in previous episodes because at the end of Griffin the Brush Off, they weren't friends. It was just...
Yes, they were.
No, like, Rainbow Dash cut it off at the end of Griffin the Brush Off. She said, screw you, you're not my friend anymore. If this is how you're gonna treat my friends, then fuck off. And so she did fuck off. That's what Gilda did.
Yeah.
And when and I'm not gonna pull this card. I'm merely saying this because she was the director at the time. Lauren Foss said about that episode, the reason they went with it was because sometimes you do have that ass who just, you and them don't stay friends. The friendship just cuts off. It ends there. That at a point in time in the show's history, that moral was presented with that intention being clearly set by the person who was directing the episode. So I feel like what you say right there is kind of not necessarily true. I'd say that it's new direction. New direction that says, well, yes, everyone needs to be friends in the end. That's how I, as the new director, Megan McCarthy, choose to play this show out now.
I'm not going to... I'm probably assuming and considering that you know, corporate was all too happy to let her go. I'm thinking that's the way that, you know, the powers that be want the show to go. Yeah.
True, but I also say that the powers that be were completely fine and content with the Griffin the Brush Off, you know, ended. I mean, they signed off on it. I mean, they didn't sign off on other things later down the line with Lauren Foss, and that's kind of why the two went their separate ways. But the powers that be did sign off on the, I guess you could say, the presentation that Griffin the Brush Off presented. They did sign off on it.
Okay, so does that mean she's destined? She cannot be friends with this person? 100%.
No, but what I'm saying is that my issue with Griffin the Brush Off, Lost Treasure of Griffinstone, isn't that they became friends at the end. It's that we don't see any transformation really in Gilda. It's like the transformation already happened before the episode, before we even saw her in Griffinstone.
The transformation happened the moment she had a decision between Dash or the idol.
Yeah, I can buy that.
No. I don't buy that for a second, because she still wasn't an ass. like the ass that I saw in Griffin the Brush Off was not there in this in this episode. And what happened later in the episode was, okay, so Rainbow Dash got herself stuck. Pinky says, "But weren't you two friends?" And then like she had a flashback? Yeah, a flashback. And then she said, "Fine, I'll help her, but that doesn't mean we're friends." From that scene, from that set of scenes, I took, okay, well, she wants to save Rainbow Dash because of her past friendship, not because they're friends now. Because
I could tell she wanted it. Again, I've had situations where I've broken ties with people, and I've kind of reached out because you kind of want it back. You kind of do when you've been friends with someone for a significant amount of time, even when it goes horribly south.
This is her only chance to try and get Dash back.
Yeah, she's sitting there thinking in the back of her mind, you know.
How at the beginning of the episode, until that one scene where Pinky's like, "Hey, Dash is in trouble," she is kind of an ass to them. Like the only time where she was helpful pre Dash falling in the cavern was when she actually like led them towards the place they needed to be. Like the rest of the time, she was like, "Get out of here! We don't need you. Fuck off!" You know, that sort of thing.
It's not like Gilda was all happy-go-lucky to see them or anything like that.
But like, take it like after okay, so they do a cutoff. There were two cutoffs they did, which I didn't like. One was the cutoff right after Pinky said, "But it does." And then we see Gilda and Rainbow Dash having this sort of like friendly messing with each other type of thing. I'm like, the fuck, where did that come from?
Oh, the loser thing?
That came out of left field.
No. I've had shit like that. I totally fucking buy that crap. The whole.
I don't buy it. And then the next cutoff that pissed me off was after Gilda saves Rainbow Dash, we then walk with her back to like we do a cutoff, and then we see Rainbow Dash, Gilda, and Pinky back in Griffinstone. And she's acting completely cool to Pinky and Rainbow Dash. I'm like, the fuck?
Which part?
Like,
when she's back in town.
When she's back in town?
I don't. She literally saved her. She saved her friend's life. There's a moment there. It's not you misunderstand. If a writer went later and they returned to Griffinstone and Gilda lapsed being back into an asshole, I believe that easily. Like this is a brand new. I think she was in the moment. The adrenaline was flowing. She had that great camaraderie moment. But
understanding.
Moments pass. That's I don't believe that's fixed at all. That's a Band-Aid. I believe it is a Band-Aid. They could easily go back.
It's not a true transformation though of her character. Just kind of Rainbow Dash got herself into a shit fuck, and then like she resolved it, and so like I would prefer that they actually do a character transformation rather than a stinking Band-Aid.
Okay, I'll look at it this way. I can make that same point for either Discord or Diamond Tiara. Can I really sit there and say that this isn't true? Okay, or Trixie. That basically it got to the point for Discord. If you look at his character, I still cannot look for the life of me and say reformed. I see someone who's learned how to play the game. Speaking as someone who has myself, I don't see a better person. I see someone who's I think I can make this work for me in
I see a better person.
In Diamond Tiara, we won't really know that until like the next time for me, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, she had this where she's put on the spot, just like Gilda, and she decided, okay, I'm gonna go with this. You don't really know till later.
I would have preferred they made less of an extreme transformation of Diamond Tiara in the span they did it in. Like, I'm not all on board for complete extreme transformations, but I do prefer transformations in a character as opposed to small band-aids that could very easily wear off the next time you see them.
Oh, I'm expecting that's going to be an oncoming thing with Diamond Tiara. I'm hoping that's going to be. I'm hoping that we do have that definitive moment where it really sinks in. This is really going to be your choice now. This is something you have to do. You can't blame it on your parents. You can't blame it on you. This is you. This is your thought. Is that too much to hope for in this show? Maybe, but I'm gonna. No.
Here's the thing about Diamond Tiara. As it was shown, like what we saw, we never really saw her what she was thinking on the inside until Crusaders of the Lost Mark.